And it's weird. Stop doing that. Just stop doing it. I want to touch this random man's calf. Like, what is happening? Sir, I'm overweight and I clearly haven't worked out in years, but yeah, sure, I'll sprint for you. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam. If you haven't already noticed it, I still kind of have cold voice, so I'm a little nasally, a little raspy, sound a little bit like Squidward. I've been bossing my husband around in my Squidward voice all week to bring me soup.
Here you go. It's alphabet soup. I made it special.
And that is why we are once again in my lovely office instead of outside on a nature trail, because Midwest Mother Nature decided she needed to make it really mucky by raining all week, and then today it is freezing and super windy, so here we are. But I promise, at some point we will break out of these four walls because there's so much to see out there. Before we get started today, the other thing I want to do is just say thank you so much for being here. Over the last 2 weeks, my channel has grown in ways that I was not expecting at all, and I have nearly 1,000 subscribers. So to you, I wanted to say thank you. It's really awesome to have you all here along with me. A lot of you are sharing your stories with fat acceptance and getting out of fat acceptance and understanding fat acceptance and understanding yourselves and losing weight. And it has been really great to connect with all of you. So I just wanted to say a quick thank you for being here. I'm really excited to have you. And as I continue to inch closer to 1,000 subscribers, I'm considering doing a little Q&A, get to know each other. So if you're interested in that, please leave your questions in the comments below or keep an eye out for my community tab post where I will be asking for your questions. Thank you again so much for being here. I appreciate it. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. So I already mentioned that I have been fighting a cold all week long. I had to fight these really invasive thoughts all week long about getting to the gym, not making excuses, even if I didn't go to the gym, working out at home, and just really pushing it because you are not allowed to take a week off from fitness. It's just not the way it works. And I had to sit with myself a few times, if I'm honest, this week, and really think about where did that come from? Where are these thoughts coming from? And even though I don't view exercise as punishment anymore, I'm still, even now, fighting thoughts in my brain about next week and working out and how I need to maybe double my workouts or increase them in some way because I missed a week, and that's just not acceptable. It's so strange, but the truth is, personal trainers from hell, which have existed in the media and in my personal life, and viewing exercise as punishment for things that you're eating or things that you're doing are very real to a lot of different people. So today I want to dig into why those thoughts exist and how those thoughts and the real personal trainers from hell who do make exercise punishment kind of lead people into the fat acceptance community. The first little thing I want to mention is that there's sort of this weird culture around exercise as a punishment, and it's almost become a little cutesy nowadays. Like, you'll see these tank tops, I'll put one here, that will say things like, I only run so that I can eat more food. Like, yeah, we get it. If you work out, typically your calorie count is higher, but why are we making it cutesy? You're basically saying if I eat a cookie, I have to run to undo the cookie. It's not cute, and it perpetuates that weird exercise as punishment stereotype that so many of us are trying to get away from. Before I get to my story time about my personal trainer from hell, I also just wanted to talk about the broader industry when it comes to these really hellish personal trainers and why a lot of people view exercise as punishment. Because when I say hellish personal trainer, the first person who pops into my brain is Jillian Michaels.
I'm Jillian Michaels. I'm a fitness trainer from Los Angeles, California. My fitness philosophy, I like to push people very hard.
Faint, puke, or die, keep walking!
I don't care about makeovers. I don't care about your family. I don't care about anything. All I care about is that your ass gets smaller. That's all that I care about. 10 more, 10 more, 10 more, 10 more. I don't care if you both die on this floor. You better die looking good. Let's go. Back. It's a bummer. Guess what else is gonna hurt? Everything! All you need to do is work out and eat right. And shut up and listen to me.
Yep, the one and only Jillian Michaels. You know her from The Biggest Loser, screaming at people, yelling at them to throw up, that they're not getting off the treadmill unless they die. That is what I think of when I say hellish personal trainer. I know that we shouldn't put a lot of stock into what we're seeing on reality TV. There is a chance that she really had to adopt that persona to maintain her standing on the show The Biggest Loser, where the premise of the show was that their team as the trainer loses the most weight, right? She's probably ultra competitive and she wanted to win. But like, that's not the way you do it. And they were really punishing overweight people and pushing them too far. And that show, my gosh, I could do a whole video on that show and how it influenced a generation of people to view exercise as punishment. And that is why I still struggle. Like, there's no giving up. You can do it. Do it no matter what. If you exercise, it'll make that headache go away. What are you doing? All these really toxic thoughts that I have are stemming from things that I've seen and that I've held with me and that have been berated at me. Also made people my size feel like I should be able to do those workouts, which were extra freaking dangerous, might I add. If you're my size, I am about 325 pounds, have a weight loss update coming for you all. You should not be jumping and sprinting and doing things that could potentially injure you because you're putting a lot of pressure on your joints. These are very much what Jillian Michaels' workouts look like. She does not do exercise modification at all. And so to see her on that show training people who are my size, well, heck yeah, why wouldn't I go out and just buy her program, right? She can train us like she can train anyone that size. Look at what she did for the people on the show. And even in the workout videos, if you've ever done one of Jillian Michaels' videos, if you've ever done a Beachbody workout video, I tried Insanity and a few of them, they all sort of run on this premise of you can do it. There's nothing better than sweating. You'll regret it if you don't work out. Yada, yada, yada. And then here we are feeling guilty that we didn't grind it out even though we don't feel good. The other thing I think The Biggest Loser did is it created a subculture of personal trainers who also think, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna train fat people and it will be fine. It's either that or I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I feel like most personal trainers, at least when I was getting started near to about 2012, a lot of them were thin, athletic, fit people who had never been overweight in their whole life and maybe didn't realize what they were doing was incredibly dangerous. I had one of those personal trainers. I had a point in 2012, even before my binge eating disorder, it could have been the start of it, I have no idea, but he really messed me up. Like, the more I think about it, the more messed up it is. And I hate that other people probably had this experience as well. But we are going to call him California Fabio because that's kind of what he looked like. So let me set the scene for you. I walk into Gold's Gym, and it wasn't a Gold's Gym Express. It was a regular Gold's Gym. It was huge. It had a basketball court, a badminton court, a saline swimming pool, because that was better for you than chlorine. I have no idea. I hated it. It had a functional fitness area. It had the weights. It had an Olympic lifting room. It had everything you could ever want and more. So I walk into this gym. I can get it on my health insurance for $25 a month. I had talked with my friend about it, and of course she wimped out on me, so I went by myself. And the first thing they do is put you with a personal trainer to sort of gauge your fitness. Cue seeing this personal trainer for the first time. He is kind of like Fabio, hence the name California Fabio, and that he has really flowing, goldish, bleach blonde hair. But the California part comes from the fact that he wasn't like husky and muscular. He was very slim, very surferish muscular. So California Fabio quickly became his nickname. And I had my first complimentary session with this person. It was anything but a complimentary session. It was him basically giving me an agility test. I remember he timed me and made me do regular burpees. He had me doing sprints, which was really weird. Sir, I'm overweight and I clearly haven't worked out in years, but yeah, sure, I'll sprint for you. He had me use the row machine, which I didn't mind because I'd never done it before, so it kind of gave me some experience with a new one. And then I did like push-ups, sit-ups, wall sits, I think, and planks. And he basically timed them and wrote them down on a little card for me. And then he asked me my goals, asked me about my eating habits, and then basically, once that session was over, they pulled me into their little office and talked to me about their personal trainer packages. When they pulled me into that office, they had told me that you could do the packages. So I did one for, I think I did a year, if I'm not mistaken. I signed up for a year-long package, paid on it monthly, and it was not cheap. It was like $500 a month or something crazy. And they basically sold it to me that he would be teaching me how to work out, and then I would be able to do it on my own, which was very much what I wanted. I had never, ever in my whole life spent time in a weight room. I had no idea how to even use the machines. I had friends who would just go on the elliptical for an hour and a half, and oh my God, that is the most boring workout. And I would try that every time, and I could never, ever, ever stick to it. So when they told me they could teach me these things, I was like, yes, I am in, sign me up. I don't care how expensive it is. I'm gonna do it. And so I did. Cue my first session. I walk in, California Fabio is waiting for me, and for the first session, he decided we were going to play some basketball, which was basically just having me shoot free throws, which I was terrible at because I am not coordinated. And then I had to go and run and get the ball from wherever it was. You did have to put in some hustle. I will give him that. I remember being so sweaty and like out of breath. And then when we were done, he took me to the courtyard that was in the middle of their building. It was like a little outside area with a little table. And we sat down and he said, "What are you eating?" So I told him my typical diet, which wasn't great, but this was also prior to my binge eating, so it also wasn't the worst. I think I was still in the 200s. I had not gained a massive amount of weight yet, and I was not binge eating yet. So I told him, I was like, well, I eat pretty moderately. I had tried out vegetarianism, things like that. And I remember, I'll never forget, he said, "Vegetarianism? That's stupid." And then he made fun of me every single day from that day forward about being vegetarian. So there was the start of our relationship. He told me not to eat fruit, not to eat any breakfast foods, stay away from oranges, grapefruits were a no-go, only eat 1,200 calories a day, the huge. And then he started asking me to keep track of a food journal, which I thought was a little so he could more effectively gauge what I was eating, and give me more advice. And what it turned into was like, oh my gosh, you ate this dessert yesterday, so today we're doing 10 extra whatever thing I hated the most, which was usually sprints or minutes on the elliptical. So he effectively used that food journal against me. As time went on, things just got weirder and weirder and more toxic and more toxic. He would have me doing these insane workouts where we would go in the parking lot and I would sprint. Like I would do sprints at like 250 pounds. He would have me doing sprints. He would often ignore what I was doing and not correct my form while I was working out so that he could hit on other people at the gym. And one time he had me in the Olympic weight room, I'll never forget, and this creepy man, I was in the leg press, the one where you're like sitting close to the ground. And this creepy man walked in and he was like, "Look at my calves." And he like flexed his calf muscle. And I was like, "Sir, can I I'm trying to do stuff here." And then California Fabio was like, "No, it's so cool. Touch his calf." And I was like, I don't want to touch this random man's calf. Like, what is happening? And then he would say things that were just so alarming. Like that cancer was a good thing because it purged the earth of the excess people. He was a very strange man. He said some racist things, some homophobic things. I called him out on it as much as I could, but I was very much like, how do I get out of this contract? How do I get out of it? And I was so close to my 1 year point by this point. But as we went along, on top of all the weird things he was doing, I had realized that he had never, ever, ever taught me any specific workout. He mixed things up so much that I never understood how to even plan a workout. If I was working out arms or legs or upper body, he didn't help me with any of that. And so by the end of my 1 year with him, I was over it. I wanted out of the contract. I could do it on my own. I would look online. And I will never forget, he looked me dead in my eyes. And he said, "You will never lose weight without me." Dead in my face, he said that to me. In front of his manager, mind you, who did nothing to stop him. And so I'm locked into this year-long contract. I had just renewed with the gym itself, but I did not renew with him because I was like, no, I'm not doing this. But guess who was there every single day, every single time I worked out, watching me and reminding me that I could not lose weight without him. All that I had learned so far from watching The Biggest Loser, shows like The Biggest Loser, and from this personal trainer who I put my trust in to help me, was that exercise was a punishment. It was my fault that I was overweight and not working hard enough to get out of it. And that it was just my fault. Just work harder. Just do all these things. 1,200 calories a day. You should be able to do that. And if you can't, it's because you don't have the willpower to do it. That is what I learned. And that is what I took away from that experience. And him saying, "You can't do it without me," and then his consistent creeping on me, it put me in this like weird headspace where I was like, maybe he's right. Maybe I can't do it. I definitely didn't have that like, well, now I'm going to show him mentality. I had the other, which was, I can't do this. Maybe he's right. And then lo and behold, I found the fat acceptance community calling out to me. It was body positivity at that time. Megan Trainor's All About That Bass was coming on the radio. And I was like, you know what? No, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be miserable. I don't want to work out with people who make me miserable. I don't want another terrible personal trainer. And exercise is awful. And if I don't have to do it, I'm not going to do it. And I fell straight on in. Straight on, head in deep, because I had tried diets. Now I had tried a personal trainer, which is someone I should have been able to trust, and all had failed me. So what else was I supposed to do? Maybe it wasn't meant to be. This happens to so many people, and I know that because I have people in my personal life who have told me similar things, and then I have a nice comment section where you all are telling me that these things happen to you. It's such a widespread phenomena that it's no wonder we don't trust these industries. They have taught us these things, taught us that we have to hate ourselves, taught us that we're not beautiful enough, taught us that we're not trying hard enough, taught us that we have to grind all the time. And we just get burnt out. And so, of course, the community who's like, do nothing, F your beauty standards, F this, F that, be who you want to be. That's how they get you. Yeah, they take it a little overboard by trying to co-opt other movements which are not theirs, which I will get into in another video. But that is why they're so freaking appealing, because we have this whole generation of personal trainers, of people who grew up watching The Biggest Loser, who really, really, really think that this is the way they have to do it. And that exercise is punishment, and that to eat those sweet things or to eat those things that they love, they have to do it this way. And that is just sad. It makes me really sad. It makes me sad that I have to deal with this. It makes me sad that knowing that I deal with this means that other people are dealing with this. And so I just, after reflecting on a week of being sick and having these thoughts just come in so rapidly to me, I just felt like I needed to talk about it because I'm sure I'm not the only one who struggles with it. And I know for sure I'm not the only person who struggled with that personal trainer, because I met a few people afterwards who were like, yeah, he will train you to the point of injury. It's not cool at all. And meeting those people and talking about it sort of made me feel sane again after that whole experience, because who says that cancer is a good thing? Dude is out of his mind. But now, I'll fast forward in his life story. Now he's like some big renowned animal savior and everyone loves him, and I don't understand. Anyway, I have rambled for much too long today, but it's okay to have those thoughts, to know that these things are coming up. The same way I have to fight my food addiction every single day, I have to fight these fleeting thoughts about punishing myself with exercise, that I'm not trying hard enough, that I'm just making excuses. Very much the gym bro persona at the beginning of my last video. That is what I'm used to working with, and that is why I struggled so hard this week to just recover from being sick, which is just let yourself recover. Do yourself a favor, listen to me, let yourself recover, and don't make yourself feel guilty about it. It is not worth it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You don't deserve it. I hope that you guys take really good care of yourselves. I am going to continue to just finish recovering from this cold. I'm hoping by next video, Mother Nature will have her act together so we can be outside of my beautiful office. Thank you so much for coming today. I will see you in the next one. Bye.